Hey, Joe Gill here again. I just decided I wanted to do a double header. I'm here to talk about the cat houses, or a couple of the cat houses in Nevada in general, and the Nevada ranches. Basically, not sure how to tackle this. Mainly, I can just sort of try to talk about my experiences or whatever. I went basically two separate times. I went way back in the 90s, 95 and 96 for my first time. And then I went in 2012 over Memorial Weekend. And basically, it's just cut and dry. You know, you find out about a particular ranch you want to go to, and you just go there. Typically, you ring a bell, you walk in. You walk in, they sometimes do a lineup depending on how slow and sluggish it is. A lot of times, you know, you don't have to bust through the gate. You just walk in, and then they're just lounging around. They won't even frickin' line up. You know, it just depends on the time and the place and whenever. You know, time and the place and whenever you go. And all that. Personally, I never really like the lineups. But you don't want to know what my psychological theory is. It's to give the men the feel of the power of selection, which is why they do the whole cattle call lineup. And basically, in my travels around the world, Nevada is the only frickin' place that does that. No other place does that. No other place does a fucking lineup. Anyway, with that in mind, I've been to like 5 different cat houses. Not necessarily, banged. I've been to Sherry's Ranch, the Chicken Ranch, which is outside of Vegas. I've been to the Mustang Ranch, the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, which is kind of like famous with the Cat House on HBO, and I was a fan of that, and that's why I went there, and Dennis Hoff and Air Force Amy and all that crap. And I've been to the Mustang Ranch and the Sagebrush Ranch, which is all, all those are outside Reno. Anyway, the bottom line is, this is probably, this is bottom line, the most you're going to pay, the top dollar. This is probably the most expensive place you're going to go to. However, depending on the chick, the mood, the girl you get, you might be able to bargain them down. However, the thing I need to add, and this is one thing Dennis never talks about on his Cat House show and all the talk show appearances, he says, he always says, oh, you can be poor and not have a lot of, it's a bunch of BS. The bottom line is, every cat house in Nevada has what they call a house minimum. The house minimum back when I went to it was $150 back in 95, 96. It has since gone up. It's now $300. So you're saying, okay, well, what does that mean? What is a house minimum? It means that these girls so much as won't even fart in your face. Little humor. They won't touch you for less than what the house minimum, basically. That means they at least want to make that much. The $300 or what was, several years ago in 95, 96, $150. So it's kind of a bunch of BS of what do they shoot for? What's the going rate they want? They want about anywhere from $800 to $1,500 or even more than that. The more they can get, the more, whatever. And for what are they willing to do for $800 to $1,500? Just the basics, like a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half, half and half, which is, BJ and intercourse and all that. That's basically it, which to me is a little bit crazy, but their logic is, well, I have to give half to the house. If it's 800, I have to give 400. Well, I don't, sorry, I don't know what to tell you, Anyway, however, my experience in 95 when what was it? Yeah, the first time I went to the Mustang Ranch, I met a decent girl. This was a decent personality gal. Cut a long story short, negotiated with her. I just wanted a BJ. I just wanted to, because I hadn't had one in a while. And I just wanted a straight BJ. So I negotiated $60, and she, did it for about 15-20 minutes. Now keep in mind, you're gonna have to wear a condom. It was a condom BJ, believe it or not, but still, it was pretty darn good. Now, what's the negative thing about these gals is with Western prostitutes or these Nevada ranches, you're going to get one stream or another. In other words, the women are going to kind of react to you as in either a very attitude or bitchy way. They're going to come off as bitchy or, with an attitude, or they're going to be really nice, really sweet, friendly customer service. Or that's the way this girl that it was the first experience. The next one, I don't even know if I really will talk about it, was a year later. I tried to go to Sherry's Ranch. I went in there, tried to negotiate. I told him around, $50, $60. She was quoting me $800, $900, $1,000. She just escorted me right out. And the way she was acting like she just woke up. She did literally say, and she just was giving me an attitude like, wow, you got me out of bed, or you disturbed my sleep and all this stuff. So then the Chicken Ranch was right next door. This was, again, in 96. And I ended up paying $125, but what I negotiated, I said, look, I don't want to pay a dime over. What happened was I used my credit card. She charged me $5, so $105. And I'm just like, okay. Then she tried to hit me up for a tip. All I really had was a 20. I didn't really want to give her a tip, and because in negotiation she ended up saying, well, what's the most, what's the max, what's the most amount you want to pay? And I said 100. I said not a dime. I said, honey, I don't want to pay a dime over $100. Well, it ended up being 125. Not too happy about it, but whatever. It's, she was pretty easygoing. Now, just in 2012, I went to the Sagebrush and Mustang Ranch, which was kind of like in the same parking lot. And I didn't purchase anything. And I went to the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, didn't purchase anything. Like I said, I couldn't afford it. However, I had a beer, I had a drink over at the Sagebrush, talked to a couple of girls, negotiated, of course, didn't reach an agreement. They wanted, like I said, $1,000. Went over to Mustang Ranch, standing next to the bar to a girl who was really kind of drunk, and she's kind of slurring her speeches and all that. She sort of hustled me for a drink, which she never drank. Really attractive and all that, but she just later just kind of came off as a pitch, because she was trying to show me all these like elaborate rooms that were like suites with in-room jacuzzis and all this. But the thing was, the place, honestly, I gotta tell you, was really fucking creepy. It almost looked like, I had a sense like, this might seem weird, like it was haunted. And I was looking in there and I said, this really looks more like a haunted mansion or a haunted room, because it had like a real weird chandelier. And I happened to ask her, and she said, yeah, it is haunted. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But I paid for this drink that she never drank, and she was just slurring. And I said, so what about your glass of wine? Aren't you going to drink your drink? She says, you know what? I don't give a fuck about that drink, or I don't give a shit, or I don't care about that drink. And I'm just like, but see, that's kind of the attitude that you can probably get. Anyway, no sale. No sale, obviously. So, I ended up leaving. And what I do regret is I regret trying to get the $8 back from my bartender, because she never took the drink. Well, she was pretty kind of lit too, which in a way I sort of thought was unprofessional, but I don't know, maybe she was having a bad night or whatever. I went to the Moonlight Bunny Ranch. I was just taking photos, like I said, but there was nothing going on. Nobody was there. Madame Suzette wasn't there. Dennis Hoff wasn't there. There was nobody. There was like 4 girls. Again, I hooked up with another gal who was kind of bitchy. And here's the thing. I got to negotiate. She dragged me into a room. She gave me a half-ass tour, and I really wanted to check the place out because, like I said, I was a fan of the HBO show, The Cat House, and I really wanted to look around. This was Sunday of Memorial Weekend, and they were having a big party, and the promotion was if you paid for sex with a girl anytime that weekend or that day, I can come back, or he can come back Monday, go to the pool party and party with all the bunnies, all the prostitutes. But, I don't know. I wasn't going to pay, $1,000 cover charge to go to some fucking pool. Well, I couldn't because my flight was leaving at noon the next day. It was a Memorial Weekend, and I was like, flew in. And really, I only went there just basically to go to Virginia City, in a sense. That's where I was visiting. Anyway, so I'm in there and negotiating with her, and this is where I'm going to get to my philosophy, because I started telling her my logic. And I said, look, and I was telling her, $50, $60, $70, $80, whatever, basically under 100, and she said she wanted to go as low as 500 and all that. And I said, look, here's my concept. I look at this business as an international market, and I named several countries where that's just a going rate, like Costa Rica, $50, $60, Amsterdam, $60, $70, Jamaica, $80, Colombia, $80, $80, $90, Australia, $100. I was naming all these countries, and I said, look, what you're asking for is ridiculous. I mean, generally prostitution, I was sitting here, this was my logic. It's illegal here, all right? Nevada's the only place, and out in the boonies is where it's illegal. And I'm sorry, it's just $1,000, $1,500, even $500, $600 just for a half an hour. Sorry, no. And she says, well, the reason why it's charged, because I need money for condoms, lubes, makeup, supplies, and all this stuff, and I have to buy it here. And I said, okay. She said, well, that's why, I have to charge, because I have to pay supplies, and I only get half, and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, okay, well, I just sort of shrugged my shoulders, and I said, sorry. Not my fucking problem. Another realistic, I'll add this in, I didn't tell her, is I base it off on what realistically, going out on a date. I mean, come on. When you're going out on a first, second, or third date, when you're getting to know somebody, how much do you really drop? How much do you really drop on a gal? When you're sort of getting to know her, or really, and honestly, I think within 3 dates, you should have slept with the gal, or at least know where you stand as far as intimacy is concerned, if you know what I mean. And the combination of 3 dates, come on, you either go for the stupid cup of coffee, which shouldn't cost you more than $10, $15. You go to a movie, which is no more than $20, $30, or out to dinner, no more than $30, $40, $50. Your typical date, unless you're taking her to an amusement park like Disneyland or Knott's, it's not going to really cost you, and that's just out here because I'm out in the LA area. Obviously it won't matter, but I would never really do that anyway. That's a Dutch date as far as I'm concerned, like to fucking Disneyland or some shit like that. I mean, seriously, it's about $100 fucking dollars. But believe it or not, some of these girls my age, in their 40s, 30s, and 40s, they like it or whatever, and it's like, fuck, give me a break. But that's what I'm saying. So that's what I compare it to. But anyway, getting back to the ranches, I mean, I don't know. In a sense, I don't really recommend it. However, the bonus to it. So what's the big difference between my experience? What's the big difference between there and say like, overseas gals? The oral sex, the quality. These women are very hot. The women in the Nevada ranches, I'm not gonna lie. They're very voluptuous. They're very sexy. They're very fit, and they're very sexual. I mean, like I said, I always say you get what you pay for. So, you know, but however, that's just a little bit too much for someone who has a little bit better exceptional blowjob skills. And honestly, if they're gonna suck through a condom, they kind of have to. So that's what you're paying for. That's what you're getting. That's what you're paying $1,000 for. You're paying for the fitter, the more attractive gal, and for the slurpy, sucky experience. Because the one BJL, by the way, I didn't say, the one blowjob, the one that I paid the $60 for, yeah. Even though I wore a condom, she did a pretty good suck job. That was definitely worth the money. $1,000, I don't know. I'd rather go offer it to some strange chick, or I'd rather offer, I'd rather go to a fucking bar, or rather go to a swing club, or rather go to some sex club or something like that and offer it to some chick there. They offer $1,000 or $500 for a blowjob there. I mean, there you go. That's my logic. But like I said, it's out of all the places I've been to, it's the most expensive. It's the most expensive place you're gonna pay. But other than that, that's up to you, man. You can go ahead and research. You can go ahead and research it and decide. They're all pretty much the same. So, anyway, I hope that gave you some information. As usual, like or comment, or even subscribe. Oh, and the joke I was trying to, or the thing I was trying to say, it was a toast in my last video in the Phuket. It should go, here's to honor. If you're not honor, get honor. If you're honor, stay honor. And it's sort of a drinking toast. Cheers. Stay tuned. Talk to you later. Bye.